proceed.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Chimombe, if I may, you said in your evidence in chief, you correct that you indicated that Militech was subcontracted with Black Deck Private Limited.
Yes.
And this Militech was a registered company.
Yes.
And you said it performed its obligation.
Yes.
And you further said it was being owed by Black Deck for performed services.
That is from what I heard from the people from Militech.
You heard it as what? As who? In what capacity were you hearing that?
Is one of the people from Militech.
Why would you, Mr. Chimombe, try to distance yourself from being fully aware of what was taking place in view of the fact that you are very close to your co-accused, and furthermore you also took part in what was happening in this goat issue?
Handisi kuona sekudaro vamuchuchisi nemhaka yekuti kuMilitech sezvatambotaura kuti handisachasoorangarira gore, but I still remember maybe it's 2022. Ndine makambani akandakati resign akati wandisei nemhaka yekuti ndakaicontestawo senatorial post yekumakonde. So
I do not see it as such because, like I indicated earlier on in 2022, I resigned from quite a number of other posts that I held because I was contesting
senatorial post for Makonde.
In the senatorial post for Makonde.
Makonde.
My apologies for that.
So, zvimwe zvaitika ndange ndisinganyasoziva hangu zvimwewo ndakazoita nokuvhunza kuti zvaifamba sei.
And as such, I was not privy to what was happening, and I had to be informed of what was happening, and at times I would have to inquire.
How many goes to Dubai towards the scheme?
Handigoni kuziva kuti dzingani.
I cannot know exactly how many.
1 year in custody, facing the issue of goats, you don't know how many goats you bought.
Musa yandakapindira munomu haisi nyaya yekutenga kwembudzi, ende ndichitaisa pacharge sheet hapana kumvura pakambomeshenwa zveMilitech kana kuti Militech ine chayakakanganisa pakutenga kwembudzi.
I have not been arraigned or arrested in regards to the courts, and even if you have to look at the charge sheets, they do not mention anything that has to do with the courts.
Your co-accused said there was no money on the formal market in terms of foreign currency, and therefore he had to resort to securing foreign currency from the black market in order to pay for the services. Did you hear him saying that?
paformal market apanga pasina mari zvokuti vakatozogumisira vakutsvaga mari kubudikidza nemusika usiriwo musika mutemo.
Wongo ndakazvinzwa zvavakataura sekudaro vakatotaura vakatoenderera mberi vachiti zoni nemaagents ese akavharirwa maaccounts anoincluda Militech, Nomistyle, Cedar Farming Trading as Cedar Petroleum here nevamwe vakadaro neFIU.
I see. So
Yes, I had him indicating the same, and he also indicated that all the other agents did not have access to the same, which include Militech, FIU,
Cedar Farming, Nomistyle,
and Nomistyle.
zvakataurwa mukati merinodare.
It was
First
mentioned
accused.
before the court by the first accused.
you also face the same predicament in respect of Militech.
Makasanganawo nedambudziko rimwe chete here maererano neMilitech.
Wongo
Yes.
You took the money to the black market.
Mukaenda nemari kumusika mutemo.
ndofunga vanhu veMilitech vanga vari in charge neMilitech vakadaro ndosaka vakazovharirwa neFIU noti Samek Chimombe
Muchitokuvharwa mumarengo.
kuti vakacloserwa maaccounts vakatsika pakubhadhira fine kuFIU.
I believe that the individuals from Militech did so, and the FIU ended up closing their accounts.
Did you account for the foreign currency that you got from the? Did Militech account for the foreign currency that you got from the unofficial market?
Makakwanisa here kuaccount kana kunyatsotsanangudza kuti mari makaishandisa sei yamakawana.
Ya zvaida kuti vanobata nezvemari yeMilitech vange vari mudare vachipindura kuti yakafamba sei.
That requires those who deal with the finances of Militech to answer to that.
But you were a director, isn't it?
Asandizvo here kuti manga muri director.
Ndanga seriously chichaji imari sezvandambotaura kuti zoni tinofunga kuti zoni kune vanhu vanga vari responsible kuita izvozvo.
I was not in charge of money, and like I indicated before, there are people who were responsible for the same.
Sorry, what is the answer? The question was, you were a director.
Yes.
And what is the answer to that?
Mapindura muchiti chii?
Kuti hongu saka ndisingazivi
Is the
pane
answer, were you a director?
Hanzi manga muri director here?
hongu
Yes.
Proceed.
You also had your co-accused person that you were given a special resolution was secured for you from Black Deck Private Limited so that you could involve yourself in the affairs of Black Deck Private Limited.
Makanzwa here umwe munosungwa naye achitaura kuti makawana mvumo inova iri kunziyo special resolution yekuti munge mune chekuita nezvaiitwa neBlack Deck.
hongu ndakanzwa kudaro achiti paive neresolution asi sekuziva kwangu handina kumvura ndakaiona handina kumvura akambondipa and akataura muno mudare kuti yanga iri internal document ravaita seBlack Deck board ravo.
Yes, I had that, but to my knowledge, I never had sight of the document. It was never given to me. And from what he indicated, he said that it was an internal document.
So
It's Black Deck.
So why did you challenge that?
May I be pardon?
Why didn't you challenge him when he said that there were he was the accused one was so proud to tell this court that the company Black Deck in a board meeting to pass a resolution for your involvement in the affairs of Black Deck, but you never challenged that you had nothing to do with it and you were not aware of such a resolution.
Seizve musina kuzvipikisa nekuti makanyatonzwa vachitsanangura kuti sekambani vakagara pasi vakabudisa special resolution iyoyo yekuti munge mune chekuita nekambani.
ndofunga sebataura ndaita kuti akatotaura kuti internal document ravaita and ini handakwanisa kuzvichallenge ndatozokuchallenge paplatform yekuti mandibvunza izvozvo and ini handina kuiona ndiizive and up to now handitoiziva kana ivo veBlack Deck havana kumvura vakangoiproducer muno mudare kuti challenge.
I believe I've already stated that I was not aware of the document, and that when he gave testimony, he indicated that it was an internal document, and the same document has not not be produced before the court.
So unchallenged evidence that remains before this honorable court is to the effect that your association with the first accused person had gone beyond that of a friend, but you were now empowered in your involvement with the court issue, even through the power of a board resolution.
Nzasizve umbo hwepamberi pedare zvisina kupikiswa ndewekuti ushamwari hwenyu nemusungo wekutanga hwanga hwapfurikidza kubva kwemasahwira tatotosvika panguva yekuti imi manga matopuhwa simba kupfurikidza neboard resolution isina kupikiswa.
Ndofunga vamuchuchisi kana paine simba rakandapiwa zvinhu zvese zvaive pajekerere kuti paiva nedokumenti rarakidza kuti senesameki Chimombe dokumenti iri wakapiwa masimba neblack tech asi dokumenti rakadaro harina kuburiswa mukati meunodai saka ini nesimba rakadapiwa neblack tech handitorisiwa.
I'm not aware of such a document since I've never seen it. If it was there, it should have been produced before that.
So it does not come as a surprise when in exhibit number 15, during a meeting with the Minister of Agriculture, you featured as an official from Black Deck Private Limited.
Saka zvina kuchizokatyamadza manje nokuda kwekuti paexhibit number 15 imi makabuda sekuti manga muripo pameeting yakaitwa neministry saofficial.
Ndofunga necharangarira accused number 1 akanyatsotaura zviri pachena kuti ndakaenda second accused seshamwari yangu kuti anonzwawo kuti zviri kunzi chii haana kumvira akameshena kuti ndakamuinvita zviri official kana pane document riripo but akatonyatsotaura zviri pajekerere mukati merinodare.
If I remember very well, the first accused indicated that I was in his company as a friend, not as an official. And he never mentioned anything regarding the document.
In your words, why did you go for that meeting, which was minuted?
Handiziva hangu kana iri mhosva yekuti wakainvaitwa neshamwari yako kuti hanzi tinonzwirana pamwe chete imhosva.
I do not know if it is an offense for someone to be invited by a friend.
Try and answer the question. Why did you attend the meeting?
Ndakainvaitwa neshamwari yangu.
I was invited by my friend.
That is not what your friend said. Your friend said there were issues. No, it was not actually your co-accused. It was yourself. You said.
Oh, okay.
It was yourself in your defense outline where you said there was an issue between the parties, the Ministry of Agriculture and Black Deck, which had arisen, which needed the involvement of a pressure group, and you happen to
You're saying that is in the defense outline?
Yes.
Can you read the
towards the end? It's a paragraph where it talks about EEG. Paragraph number 9.
Okay, I need to open the. I'm sorry about that. Let me just. Paragraph 9.
Yes. In your own words, you said the only time that the second accused recalls is when he attended a meeting of the Ministry of Lands after a dispute had arisen between Black Deck Private Limited and the ministry. He did so in his capacity as the chairman of a local pressure group called Economic Empowerment Group EEG, which advocates for, amongst other things, that governments prioritize local companies when entering into agreements for the supply of goods and services. This is the reason that you gave for your participation. And now you are saying you were there as a friend.
My apologies, the question was a mouthful. May I recite? Vanokuti mimi murikuti mudefense outline yenyu pamairamba mhosva makataura kuti nguva imwe chete yamakaenda kumeeting ikoko kuministry of lands kwakanga kuri mushure kwekunge paita kusawirirana pakati peblack deck neministry iyoyo saka makaenda muri chairman where local pressure group inonzi economic empowerment group inomiririra iyo hurumende kuti inge ichisimbisa kana kukoshesa local companies.
Wongu ndakaenda sekudaro changa ndichipokana nacho chataurwa nomudaro kuti ndakainvitwa neblack deck kuti ndiende pane official document rinondipa masimba samake Chimombe.
Yes, that was the situation. What I'm disputing is that I was invited by Black Deck as in my personal capacity.
Shamwari yangu zvakare inoziva kuti ndiri chairman kana kuti president we-economic empowerment group inomirira nezvowani kweupfumi hwevanhu vatema.
My friend is aware that I'm the chairman of the economic employment group.
I'll give you another opportunity. Why did you go and attend the minute meeting?
Hanzi ndakupa imwe mukana. Sei chaizvo makaenda kumeeting iyoyo?
Ndakainvitwa shamwari yangu kuti ndinonzwisisa kuti chii changa chiripo pakati pavo.
I was invited by my friend so that I can understand what was really happening between the parties.
Do I hear you to say you attended the meeting in order to resolve an issue which had arisen?
Ndizvere zvandiri kunzwa zvekuti kuti makaenda kumusangano kuti munogadzirisa dambudziko ranga ranyuka.
Kwete ndofunga ndichitanga kuenda ndidzokere kumusha nditanga kuenda kumeeting yaifanira kutanga 10 o'clock.
No, that is not so. I believe when I started going to the meeting, it was supposed to commence at
10 o'clock. Muofisi mava Mindurwa.
In Mr. Mindurwa's office.
The director in charge of RX.
Who happened to be the director in charge of RX.
So tasvika ikoko I think ministry vanga vati pane vanhu vakamirira here saka ndakangosvika imomo before the meeting ndakavapawo makadzi angu semunhu wekuEEG.
When I got there before the meeting, I gave them my cards as someone from EEG.
Then meeting yakunotanga takapinda mukati meeting. I never introduced myself andina kuwana kana mukana wekuintroduce myself vakazointroduce vega veministry.
We then got into the meeting, they introduced themselves, I never introduced myself.
Meeting yatanga. After meeting yatanga ndakaona first accused vairatidza kunge vari kuwirirana handina kumbozongoita because ndandine imwe meeting andaifanira kuatenda navo past 11 ndofunga ndakavasiya vari pakati pekuita meeting yavo ndakabva ndabuda ndaenda ndokusaka makaona.
The meeting then commenced and it appeared as though they were in agreement with the first accused, and however I did not take time there because I had another engagement at 11:30.
Ndosaka makaona paexhibit kana sekakanganisa mati exhibit 11 handina kana participation yakandaita mumeeting handina kana chinhu wani chakandataura mumeeting samake Chimombe or president weEEG.
And if you are to take note from the exhibit, I never participated in the meeting as the president of EEG.
You co-accused President told this court that you introduced yourself to the meeting, and you were going to tell this honorable court in your own words how you introduced yourself. He's refused to commit himself on how you had introduced yourself, and you are now saying you never introduced yourself. You see, there is now uncertainty of what really transpired.
Kana ndicharangarira first accused paumbo hwake akati zvoni second accused akapa vanhu business cards tiri kumeeting, and I think kana achitaura meeting because tanga tatowo kumeeting room but meeting ingasati yatanga akapa vanhu akaendera mberi akati akapa vanhu macards eEEG. He never said kuti ndakazointroduce semunhu wekublack deck.
If I remember well, the first accused never said that I introduced myself as an individual from Black Deck, but that I dished out my business cards as an official from EEG.
As a member of EEG, what exactly were you going to do?
Tasi mimi se member ye EEG, chinangwa chenyu chaizvo chachiri cheikoko.
chinangwa chedu kwenda ikoko kungonzwa zvinenge zvichiitika kuti vanhu vatema vari kudzvinyirirwa sei sezvo accused person akanga ndivheta kuti tozvitorawo kana zvichitoreka toona kuti tingazigadzirise sei sezvo EEG iri affiliate kuZANU-PF iri also a registered organization.
Our aim was to hear how the black people are being oppressed there from what the first accused had said. Since EEG is an affiliate of ZANU-PF,
It's also a registered organization.
And it's also a registered organization.
According to the laws of Zimbabwe.
According to the Zimbabwean laws.
You were once a member of AAG.
AAG?
Yes, Affirmative Action Group.
Mine was a member of AAG. Yes.
You last held the position of the president of that organization.
National president.
Yes, the national president.
On the 20th of March 2022, you were relieved of that position.
28th March 2002?
2022, sorry.
2022, makasiyiswa nzvimbo iyoyo. Yes.
Was Black Deck Private Limited affiliated to Affirmative Action Group?
Black Deck Private Limited yakaine chekuita iri neAAG.
Ndingaziva kuti yaivepo here kana kuti yanga isavepo.
I would not know.
But you were the president and Mr. Mpofu was your close friend. No, the proverbial Jerry, which was being sung by Oliver Mtukudzi, a very close person.
But Mr. Mpofu is not Black Deck. Ivo kusezvo vakataura kuti zvori vakawandira musango saka zvimwe zvinoitwawo nevamwe vanenge vari mumaofisi.
However, Mr. Mpofu is not Black Deck. He indicated that he is mainly in the field.
In the bush or in the field? I see. Now, so if you were now that you were relieved of your position as the president of AAG on the 20th of March 2022, you then went and you formed your own that you founded.
Pamakasiyiswa basa muna 2022 sapresident weAAG. Makabva maenda pamanotanga wenyu.
Ya takaona kuti zoni AAG yakafomwa 94 nana Philip Chiyangwa nana Bulandevele nevamwe. Saka yanga yangu yodiwe ichidiki kuti tifome pressure group yedu and Sindega founder weEEG. I think from Mashonaland region ndakabva ndiridini. The next founder is Scott Sapwanya kumatebele ndikunobva nonzi Beki Moyo. Saka nevamwe taka vese vamwe vazhinji vacho vakabuda from AAG vachiuya kuEEG. And our patron remained the same after tatsigira kuti tada kufoma this group. We went to. Okay, sorry.
I was not the only one. We were quite a number. We had realized that AAG had been formed in 1994 by the likes of Chiyangwa, Bulandevele, and as such we decided to form EEG.
And we tafunga sepfumono wakadaro sokuti tifome group iroro and zita rakauya nevamwe sezvo ndanga ndiri mukati kufunga nguva iyoyo ndaitowo kuSouth Africa taitaura through the phone saka ndakazouyawo ndadzoka.
At the time I was in South Africa and we decided to come up with this organization, and I believe that the name was suggested by other members.
Ndakaona vagadzira constitution yeEEG takaitora constitution iyoyo vakati atakakumirira sezvo by then ndaiwo secretary for indigenous and economic empowerment kuYouth League kuZANU-PF. Economic and empowerment.
I was the secretary of the economic and empowerment at ZANU-PF at the time.
National Youth League.
Of the National Youth League, but when I came into place, they had already come up with their constitution.
So we then take our constitution, tese takadaro ndifunga takaenda tiri about 15 kuda His Excellency plus ndo taita come up with this idea.
We then approached His Excellency. We were 15 of us, and we took with us our constitution. We informed him of the idea that we had come up with.
And vakabva vati blessa vakati ndini ndatowo patron weorganization iyoyo maita zvakanaka mauya neconstitution.
He then blessed the initiative, and he said that he was now the patron of the organization.
The next step takaenda neregistawo kuZANU-PF.
Are you still answering the question?
Hanzi muchiri kupindira mubvunzo here.
Ndawana vamuchuchisi kuti vanenge vari kuda kuonaso saka ndatenge ndiye
I realized that the state was having a time of his life, so I decided.
Indeed, Mr. Chimombe, if I was just imagining if you were explaining the way you use the 200 million in the manner in which you are narrating your story, would have made some progress, because you haven't said how that money was used.
Hanzi ndizvozvo ipapo ndanga ndichiri kutorotomoka kuti dai manyatsotsanangura matsanangura mukuita iwayo muchitsanangura kuti 200 million makaishandisa sei.
ndaitofara chaizvo dai ndakasungwa ndiri director weMilitech ndichizoti ndikuendotsanangura zveMilitech taitoseka masekero aya ataita because ndaitsanangura nemo nemarisiti kuti mari yakashandiswa sei.
I would have been delighted to give you that explanation at length if I had been arrested as the director of Militech.
You are co-accused.
No, there's something that you left out. I heard him saying receipts. What was that about?
My apologies for that.
ndainge ndichiproduce kuti mari yakafamba sei, pane marisitsi, pane zvese, kana pane mifananidzo yezvakavakwa nezvakaitwa
I would
neMilitech.
have been in a position to produce receipts relating to how the money was used, or produce pictorial evidence of any infrastructure that would have been built.
Your co-accused was taken to task over the issue on how he used the money. Did you not therefore find it necessary to take it upon yourself to merely explain how you would use your money? Because it was an issue when accused number one was on the witness stand.
Nzasi zvemusungo kutanga pangakamira pawitness stand vakabvunzurudzwa zvizere maererano nekuti mari iyoyo vakaishandisa sei. Imi hamuna kuonawo zvakafanira here kuti munge muchigadzirira tsananguro iyoyo?
Ndichatanga nekuti according kubank statement yakataurwa muno zvakanzwa vamuchuchisi muchitaura kuti Blackjack Private Limited yakabhadharwa 1.6 billion inove mari yakawandisa zvikuru.
I believe from what was said from the bank statement, it was indicated that Blackjack was given 1.6 billion, which is a large sum of money.
And ndakanzwa muchizotaura zvakare muchiti over 500 million yakadistributwa kuma-agents ese eBlackjack Private Limited.
And I also heard the fact that it was said over 500 million was distributed to all the other agents.
And makabva matoverenga nema-amounts acho akada kuenderana neMilitech.
You even went through the amounts that relate to Militech.
Saka nekudaro ndakaona kuti first accused even yo mhinduro yake yanga yakafananawo neyandiri kupa kuti zvona akatotaura kuti no, dai ndakasungwa ndiri director of Blackjack ndingadai ndakawanza kuti Blackjack kana ndingadai ndakapiwa information yekuti mari iyi yakafamba sei. Aizviso mudare muno.
I realized that the submissions by the first accused are just the same as my submissions, in that you are saying had he been arrested as the director of Blackjack, he would have produced the evidence.
chimwe chakazonditawo zvakare kuti ndisatedzere the first accused inhawo yekuti panambotaura pamafedha particulars state I think ndimi vamuchuchisi vamabhauti makasinyasonyora zviri broad pamafedha particulars makati zvoni ma-investigations ari kuitwa ane chekuita chete neBlackjack Private Limited haane nechekuita nemilitech handinenge zvakatonyasonyora nemavara marefu
The
saka
other reason why I did not follow the first accused is because from the further particulars produced, the prosecutor indicated that the issue relates to Black Deck
private limited.
Private Limited.
Saka ndakauya nechivimbo kuti pandichamira pano pamberi pedare handizobvunzwa zvemilitech kuti mari yemilitech yakafamba sei because mazozotsanangura kuti mainvestigations mudare hamune chekuita nezvemilitech.
Hence, I was certain that when I'm to come before the court, I was not to be questioned anything relating to Militech.
So, accused person, the first accused person owned up and said the foreign currency that he got from the black market, it was never deposited into company bank accounts. What did you do with the foreign currency that you got from the black market?
Foreign currency amakawana ku black market nekutinsungo kutakatora tainavhura yadeposit kwama-accounts.
Sezvanambotaura kuti vemilitech vakatosununguka kana nhasi kana mangwana vakauya I think vari accountable nemari yakaiswa imwe kuti vakaitei sezvo ini ndanga siri mubati umwe ndisingazivi hangu kuti mari yacho yakaitei but vakasunuguka kuti vauye muno mudare vataura kuti mari iyi yakafamba sei.
Like I indicated before, the representatives from Militech are more than ready to come and account for the money.
You heard your co-accused person telling this court that he has a number of witnesses that he wanted to call that he never called.
Yes.
Are you going to call the witnesses that you are talking about? Now that is an issue because it is the state's contention that the money that you 200 million that you got, you converted to your own use, which had nothing to do with the procurement of goats for the presidential goat person scheme.
Handifunga kudaro kuti state kana mavhaudhi muchitaura kuti izvoni militech ine here any allegation yakaita nechekuita chemari yegold scheme because militech haina mvura yakasungwa and haina mvura yakambopiwa any allegation yekunzi yakamisivisa mari.
I do not think so because Militech has never been accused of misusing money and they've never been arrested on such allegations.
Asi kana muchida kuti militech ive accountable kuti mari vakaishanda sei vanotouya muno mudare.
But if we want them to account, to give an account of how they use the money, they can come before the court.
Mr. Chimombe, you were also involved with the issue of 32,500 goats, which you and your co-accused, your friend, said were available when the ministry took stock. Only about 3,500 goats were found.
Hanzi muneo chekuita nenyaya 32,500 goats dzamaitimi makatenga nemari asi ministry paikazoita stock yakangoona 3,500 goats.
Handifunga kudaro handina pakandambobvira ndaenda kuministry handina kubvira panekambotaura muministry and handina kubvira ndakambopaona pakanyorwa kuti Mike Chimombe akaenda kuministry akanotaura kuti pane 32,000 goats.
I do not think so. I never went to the ministry. There is nothing that is written to that effect wherein it is alleged that I stated that I have got 32,500 goats.
That is what Mr. Alban Mindurwa told this court, that he invited you and the two of you came and they tried to make arrangements that you can take them to the holding pens for the goats after they failed to find the goats on their own, and you then the two of you refused and said that you were going to engage Dr. Basera, the permanent secretary.
Ndofungana ndichirangarira hapana pakambotaura vaMindurwa muno rinodare kuti Mike Chimombe akati zvakati mumeeting yedu kana kuti Mike Chimombe akati zoni ane 32,000 goats, and the meeting yavamhindurwa I think exhibit number 11, and it's clear kuti zoni handina chakandataura mumeeting imomo, and ndizvo ndataura kuti meeting iyo yakasara ichiitwa ndisipo, handina chakandataura.
To my recollection, Mr. Mindurwa, he never stated that anything that I said in the meeting or whether I alleged that I had a certain number of goats.
Yes. So you were merely sailing close to the wind. You were merely associating yourself innocently. Is that your contention?
Handizivi kuti munhu unyasorevei kana muchidaro kuti seni saMike Chimombe ndakazvipinza papi.
I do not know what you are referring to exactly, that as an individual, as Mike Chimombe, how did I involve myself?
Mr. Chimombe, the evidence that has been adduced is that there were about 4 or so agents who were involved, that you have mentioned yourself. But it looks like you are the only person who was always present with the co-accused person when things were happening, whether within the ministry, at the launches of gold schemes, and everywhere. We were never told that there were other people who were involved so closely with the first accused.
Before kana ndicharangarira zvakataurwa first accused akati pakaitika more than 20 meetings zvakaitwa, and maagents ese vaive available. Ndofunga zvakatakira it's on record achitaura kudaro.
From my recollection, I believe the first accused indicated that there were more than 20 meetings that were held, and all the other agents were also there. But
you consider that the lodges and so forth, it was an addition of a feather on your head, because it tended to feather your political activities that you are now involved. It portrayed you in good light, the association with the scheme as a senator.
Handifunge kudaro, and ndikachamazwa kuti sei paingotsvagwa zita rokunzi Mike Chimombe, because kana first accused akati kune mameetings akaitwa akawandisa, even kumalaunch kwacho, even kwese kwaendwa, handaienda ndirini chete. First accused Black Digger yaitoita nemamwe maagents embudzi idzodzo kumameetings kwaendwa vanhu vakawandisa, asi paingochuzwa chete kunzi pana Mike Chimombe, and ndo zvavaida kutira kuita zvamataura izvozvo kuti vandise zita rangu palimelight. That's why
I do not think so. I'm also baffled as to why my name is always being mentioned, whereas the first accused testified that there were other agents were involved.
So why you?
Zvotondiremera kuti musungwa wese wesemi ndakachuzwa, and sei pakangonzi Mike Chimombe ndayakaforge kama documents Mike Chimombe company ndoringu apia is Black Digger yakabhadhara makambani akawandisa.
It is weighing heavily on me as to why it is being indicated to my person. Everything is being mentioned and pointed at me that I'm the one who fabricated the documents.
I think
which Black Digger paid a plethora of other agents.
Mr. Chimombe, it was quite apparent that despite you being conflicted in view of your association with the first accused person, you were also using your pressure group to involve yourself with a transaction, a business transaction, which had nothing to do with you, and there was no issue at all, as we had already considered.
Ndofunga zvakamotaura first accused kuti zoni anonymous uyu akaenda noripota, akangoenda noripota kuti zoni Mike Chimombe naMpofu vari involved in gold scheme, because semataurira zvakaitwa kana ministry up to now haisati yaita report, endiwo state yakangozvitora kudaro kuti Mike Chimombe naMpofu ndiwo vakatopara mhosva, ndiwo vakatopedzwa mapepa.
I believe it was stated that the anonymous report indicated that it was myself and the first accused who were involved in the court scheme.
Now, in winding up, I put it to you that when you were given the 200 million, when your company was given 200 million, which was undocumented, you knew that the transaction was not above board.
Hanzi ndichipendera ndoda kuzvisa kwamuri kuti kambani yenyu payakapiwa mari inosvika yo 200 million hazvina kunyoreranwa pasi nekuti maiziva kuti zvinhu izvi hazvisi kuitwa nemazvo.
Sezvandambotaura atingi ndataura kanenge ka40 kuti agreement yeBlack Tech neMilitech iripo kana ichidiwa mukati medare rino inotouya nekukasika because zvakanyorerwa pasi. Chasina kunyorerwa pasi chete semuchuchisi kutaka kwamamurira kundibvunza kuti mune here zvamunoita nefirst accused muchinyorerana pasi ndakati kwete asi zviri zvebusiness rakaitwa after Black Tech yakawana.
Like I indicated before, I think I've said it about 4 times now. The agreement between Black Tech and Militech is documented. However, what I'm responding to is that there were no documentations of the transactions between myself and the first accused.
And furthermore, you furthered the commission of the offense when you involved yourself in meetings with the Minister of Agriculture where falsehoods were made and you were aware that such falsehoods were not true. For example, the issue of goats, that there were 32,000 goats.
Hanzi zvakare makapeshedzera kupara kwemhosva iyo nekuti imi makazvipinza panyaya yanga isinei nechekuita nemi kubudikidza nemameetings aiitwa zvakare nemanyepo mamwe aitaurwa. Mamwe manyepo acho muenzaniso ndeyekuti pakataurwa ipo kuti panga patengwa mbudzi dzinoita idzo 32,500.
Ndinoona sekuge hakusi kudaro dai daizvipinza munyaya dai daive involved mukunyepa painzi Mike Chimombe akati zvakati ende zvaive zviri mumaminitsi imomo saka ini
that is not so because had I involved myself in any falsehoods it would have been documented in the meetings.
Kuti Mike Chimombe akauya pano paministry akanotaura kuti kune 32,000 uye zvakatsigirirana nefirst accused
to the effect that I went to the ministry and indicated that there were 32,000 votes and that I was in agreement with the first accused.
So you want
kana ndichirangarira meeting iyoyo paministry exhibit yakatapiwa nemalawyers anoratidza kuti meeting yakaita 45 minutes is almost an hour chinzi ndingangonyarare chete ndisina chandinotaura.
Because if I recall very well from the documents that I received from my lawyers, it is documented that the meeting was held for 45 minutes and it baffles me as to why there is nothing specific that I said.
So where did you go? Because the Black Tech, its directors, a number of directors. Why you?
Saka sei makaenda nokuda kwekuti Black Tech yanga ine madirectors ayo ane chitsama.
Ndozvanapotaura ndakainvitwa neshamwari yangu Mike Chimombe shamwari yake saprezo EG and the meeting iyo ndakaitoisiya iri pakati vakasara vachiita meeting iyo yakapedza and maminesi meeting andira kubvira ndakamaona ndakazomaonera mudare wedzipoti.
That is what I indicated when I stated that I was invited by my friend Babusi, the first accused, and there were meetings. The meeting was held for 45 minutes. However, I never had sight of the minutes.
What do you say to that? Your brother Tinashe Chimombe is a director of Black Tech Private Limited.
Mungati chii kana zvikanzi mukoma wenyu Tinashe Chimombe ndi director weku Black Tech.
Tinashe kana singakanganisa ne 40 years dzokuberekwa saka andingazivi kuti Tinashe anoshanda kupi anoita nezvei anoita sezvo abunhu mukuru ane family yake.
If I'm not mistaken, Tinashe is about 40 years and I would not know everything that he does. He has his own family.
Doesn't that raise eyebrows? That you were seen involving yourself with Black Tech, your brother is also a director, you are attending such meetings.
Ndinozvisimudzinobvunzo here izvozvo zvekuti muchipindira munyaya dzeBlack Tech uye zvakare mukoma wenyu arimo muBlack Tech imo.
Handizivi angoti zvosumudza papi sekuti Tinashe sezvanotaura Tinashe munhu mukuru ane madecisions ake aanoitawo ega semunhu mukuru anoshanda kwaanenge achifungidza ari comfortable kuti ashande. Saka handingaziva hangu kuti zvingasimudza maeyebrows acho papi.
I would not know how we should then raise eyebrows. Like I indicated, he's an adult, he does what he wants, he is a family man, he makes his own decisions.
And further, more, is it correct that when your bank account was frozen, there was nothing left really? So there was nothing to freeze. It was now without any money.
Hanzi handizvere kuti bank account yenyu payakafrizwa mamusisina kana chinhu.
Asi handaiona bank account yacho because mari mutemo yayo haifanira kugara mubhengi. Mari inopinda mubhengi ichibuda because inofanira kushanda. Saka mari yakapinda mubhengi ichasaira kubuda ishande.
I haven't seen the bank account, but if money is deposited into an account, it has to be used.
So why would you say your bank account was frozen? Yet there was nothing to freeze.
So I say muri kuti bank account yenyu yakafrizwa imo mamusisina chekubata.
Ndofunga zotoda kumubvunzo unoda kuvhunzwa navakafriza kuti vaifrizirei kana mamusina mari.
I believe that question is to be best answered by those who froze the account as to why they did it if the account did not have any funds in it.
So the money that you got from the money which was secured by military from the black market was never accounted for in the financial system.
Saka zvemari yamakawana muri military haina kumbobvira yatsanangudzwa kuti yakashandiswa chii mufinancial system.
Sei muchidaro?
Why do you say that?
Sorry, maybe handigone hangu kubvunza mubvunzo but handiziva hangu kuti muri kuedza kuti kudii kana muchidaro because sezvamataura ndaita kuti zoni militech vari accountable nemari yavakapiwa ende kana muchivada kuti vauye muno vataura kuti mari yavakapiwa vakashandisei.
I do not know what you are trying to insinuate, but like I stated earlier on, Militech is accountable for the money and they can come and state how they use the funds.
Mr. Chimombe, I finally put you to that you knew that your co-accused, your friend rather, co-accused, yes, he had committed an offense in securing the money, which the money was being converted to his personal use. You also gained from that money that you converted to your own use, with an intent to prejudice the fiscal, the government of Zimbabwe.
Hanzi mukupedzisira ndikuzvisa kwamuri kuti mimi manga muchiziva kuti shamwari yenyu yakawana mari nenzira isiriyoyo zvakare mukapindirawo panyaya idzodzo mukabhenefitawo pakuwanikwa kwemari iyoyo, asi chinangwa chachiripo chachiri chekuti fiscal sigorasikirwa nemari.
Handikubvumirana nazvo nekuti mubusiness neufriendship zvinhu zvitu zvakasiyana. Saka kana muchiti shamwari yangu muzoti Militech yakaita business transaction neblack tech and Militech as far as I'm concerned yakafulfilla zvayakapirwa mari.
I do not agree with your vehemence because there is a difference between friendship and business, and Militech had a business transaction with Black Deck which was fulfilled and they were paid.
And kana Militech muchida kuti ibude iuye mukati mudare itaura kuti mari yakapirwa yei and muzvinhu zvazoda kuonekwa zviripo zvinovanootaura seMilitech.
And Militech can come to court and testify as to how they used the funds.
I have no further question for the witness, my lord.
Cross-examination by accused one.
Yes, witness, you confirm that you were arrested together with accused number one.
Yes.
You confirm further that when you were called for questioning by the investigators, you were in the same room with the accused person so that you witnessed all the communication.
Yes.
Now, in your evidence in chief, you stated that you are here because you and first accused are alleged to have connived to prepare fake documents that you lied to the minister that there was a company called Black Deck Private Limited. You recall that?
muchayokera kuti makataura kuti mimi makamiswa pamberi pedanokuda kuti zvainzi mimi makanyora mapepa asiriwo zvakare makanyepa kuti kune company inonzi Black Deck Private Limited. Yes.
And during cross-examination, you further told the court that when you asked for further particulars, you were told that investigations had nothing to do with you, but a company called Black Deck Private Limited.
Ndizvo here kuti pamataura pamberi pedare pamati makakumbira mafurther particulars mukaudzwa kuti kuferefetwa kwakuchiitwa nyaya kwanga kusinei nemi asi kuti kwakune chekuita necompany inonzi Black Deck Private Limited. Yes.
Now, the first accused has always denied that when he was arrested there was any mention or reference to a company called Black Deck Private Limited, but rather it was said he used a non-existent company.
Hanzi msungo kutanga pakasungwa anoti akaramba achitaura kuti hakuna haana kumbobvira might be pardoned. My apologies for that.
There was never any reference to a company called Black Deck Private Limited, but rather that it was alleged he used a non-existent company.
Anoti pakasungwa hakuna kumbobvira kwataurwa nezve Black Deck Private Limited asi kuti zviri kunzi vaitaura nezve company isitoriko zvachose. Yes, we indicated that.
Now, will you agree with him that even the issue of tax clearance and NASA certificate, the investigators never alleged that they were taken from the Black Deck tender document, Black Deck Private Limited tender document?
Hanzi munobvumirana nezvekuera nezvenasa certificate netax clearance mainvestigators ari kuti havana kumbobvira vazviwana kumatenda matender documents. I do not know where they got that from.
But from their conversations, you can confirm that they never alleged that the offense was committed through a registered company.
Asi munobvuma here kuti mukutaura kwavo havana kumbobvira vataura kuti mhosva yakaparwa kuburikidza nekampani yakarejistwa. Yes.
That is one.
Re-examination.
Thank you, my Lord. We will leave just two issues. Now, witness, at the time when Militech participated in the tender to supply the government with courts, were you a director of Militech?
Mamuri director weMilitech here panguva yakapuwa tender yekusupply mbudzi.
Yeah, hongu ndazorikola kuti tunaita mistake yemakore sezvakora akawandisa ndaive director 2021 ndasinganyasoziva kuti tender yakaitwa gore ripi saka ndazorikola kuti 2021 ndaive director.
Yes, I have recollected my memory in that I was still a director at 2021.
Now, in respect of the subcontract or the agreement between Militech and Black Deck Private Limited, just confirm to the court whether the agreement is in written form or it's not written.
Handitsigirai kudare kuti maererano nesubcontract pakati peMilitech neBlack Deck zvakanyoreranwa pasi here kana kuti hazvina kunyoreranwa pasi?
Zvakanyoreranwa pasi. I think Militech itori neagreement yacho. You could also tender in court because of an agreement.
It is in written form and I believe Militech has a copy and can be tendered before the court.
My Lord, that will be on the examination.
Okay.
And unless the court and the members of the bench have questions to put to
me find out. You said you attended the meeting at the ministry as a friend of the first accused person.
ndizvo here kuti mati makaenda kumusangano wekuministry seshamwari yemusungo wekutanga?
Hongu, ndiriwo zvakare president weEG.
Yes, and again as the president of EEG.
You knew that the successful bidder was an entity other than the first accused person.
Hanzi maizviziva here kuti successful bidder ngati munhu akatozvimiririrawo asingabatanidzwi nemusungo wekutanga?
In other words, it wasn't, the successful bidder was not the first accused person in person, but some other entity which he was representing.
Hanzi handizvo here kuti anga abudirira pabhidha yanga asiri musungo wekutanga asi imwewo entity yavanga vakamirira?
Hongu, because anga andiudza kuti kambani yangu yaive first accused kuti kambani yake yaive director mukambani imomo yawina tender.
Yes, because he had informed me that his company as the first accused had won the tender.
So, did you have anything to do with that company?
Manga mune chekuita here nekambani iyoyo?
Kwete.
No.
So, did you have any reason to attend a meeting on his behalf, or perhaps to be present at its meeting with the ministry?
Manga mune chikonzero here chekuenda kumusangano ikoko makaimiririra kambani iyoyo?
Let me rephrase that. I don't think he said he was representing. Did you have any authority to be appearing in the ministry and advancing the interests of that entity, the successful bidder?
Manga mune mvumo here yekuenda kuministry ikoko muchimiririra kambani yanga yabudirira mubidi?
Kwete.
No.
So why were you attending the meeting?
Saka sei chaizvo maienda kumusangano?
Because the bidder was not the first accused person, it was some other entity. So what was your reason for being at the meeting?
Nokuda kwekuti bhidha anga asiri musungo wekutanga asi anga itoriwo entity kana munhu anga akazvimiririrawo, saka chikonzero chenyu chekuva kumusangano changa chiri chei?
Ndofunga kana ticharangarira accused person wekutanga akajekesa kuti ane 10% mukambani inonzi Black Tech Private Limited, and iye kana tichiti imwe entity kambani ine madirectors and iye mumwe wemadirectors akandiinvita kunge ndiri ikoko.
I believe, if I still recall, the first accused indicated that he owns 10% of Black Tech Private Limited and is also one of the directors, and as such he has interests in the company.
So your presence was because you had been invited by a director of the successful entity, the successful bidder.
Ansaka kuvepo hwenyu wanga uri kubudikidza nekuti memanga madaidzwa na director wekambani yanga yava bidder successful kana kuti anga abudirira?
Hongu.
Yes.
Any questions arising, Mr. Stole?
Just one issue. Just clarify to the court. Were you at that meeting because you had been invited by the first accused as a director, or it invited you as his friend?
Hanzi jekesera idaro kuti manga maenda kumusangano kunokuda kwekuti mamadaidzwa nemusungo wekutanga.
Are you cross-examining him or what?
No, I'm saying, can you clarify?
Because he has answered that question. It's on record. Unless you want to disagree with him.
No, from the entirety of this evidence up to even the question has to be put by this there seems to be two versions.
Yeah, which means that you would be cross-examining him.
No, I'm actually re-examining.
Yeah, but if you are going to ask him to reconcile what you perceive to be conflicting versions, then that would be cross-examination.
Well, I thought.
Very well, you can
I
answer.
thought re-examination is.
Yes, you can. Very well, we won't argue over that. You can answer.
May I have the question again? My apologies.
When you went to that meeting, which the court says asked you about, did you go there, upon the invitation of the first accused, in his capacity of director of Plete, or in his personal capacity as a friend?
Pamakaenda kumusangano makaenda ikoko kubudikidza nekuti manga madaidzwa nemusungo wekutanga akamira sadirector wekambani iyoyo here kana kuti vakakudaidzai seshamwari yavo?
Seshamwari yavo.
As his friend.
Lord, we have no further questions.
Any questions arising, State?
None, my lord.
None from the first accused.
Yes.
Lord, I'll defer back the.
Yes, thank you. You can go back to the door. Yes, Ms. Maduka.
Yes, we advise the court that the second accused is closed in this case. Case for the second.
We agreed that closing addresses will be made on the 10th. Is that so? Is that so, State?
My lord, the honorable says that the state is was asking for the maybe if the submissions maybe made on the 13th Monday, because on the 10th I won't be in town.
Oh, is that so?
Yes. It will be on a Monday.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Koto?
I have no problem with the 13th, my lord.
Mr. Maduku?
We're having problems on our side. We had Dara is the 10th, and we had wanted to be all present on the day of the final address.
Oh, I see.
So I'm not sure how.
So
far
can we
this-
find another date?
Lord, if you may approach the. Lord, we are not sure as to the court's availability and my learned friends' availability on the 7th or 8th of October. Well,
7th is when?
it would be on a Tuesday. The 8th is
I'm usually not available on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
yes, the 8th is on a Wednesday.
Registrar,
The challenge
what's-
that I'm really getting, Lord, is that we had agreed on this issue. But then my learned friends understandably had some commitment, but then we also have Mr. Jetel, who was the lead counsel for the first accused person, had agreed to the 10th. So we're trying to accommodate each other in respect of fairness. So I don't know whether the 10th in the afternoon is.
So 8th, what? Will you be around on the 8th, Mr. Mabaudi?
I will be leaving on the 8th. On the 8th.
You believe on the 8th. So I think we have to then find. I think that's a very important stage of the trial.
I'm sure.
All counsel have to be.
I'm sure. If I don't know whether people will be regurgitating what they would have written, because I think much of what we have already submitted at the close of the state case, and they are going. The parties insisted that they be written submissions. So I think maybe it will be just a matter of highlighting.
Sorry, we can do the 13th. I think
13th.
38 suggest.
Okay. I'm not sure whether, Mr. Maduku, you were here when we discussed this. The suggestion was, in fact, I put it to the bar that my understanding is that closing addresses should be motivated orally. But there's nothing precluding a party from preparing in writing what they are going to submit on. So the intention is to allow the parties to write up something and then speak to those submissions orally on the 13th. Are you in agreement with that?
Yes, I've been advised about
Yes,
it.
yes,
We
okay.
will upload our return.
Yeah, so thank you. Can we then agree on the time frames for the submissions? I see the registrar here is restless. Are we committed already on the 13th? We have a trial. We have a trial. What is it? Which one is it? Is it trial? Well, if it is a trial, we can always manage it. Very well. So let us agree on the time frames. State, when are you going to submit your written argument?
We are coming on the 13th. Oh. So, on or before Tuesday the 7th.
By 7th.
Yes.
And the accused persons?
For accused one, by the 9th.
Is there any reason why the accused persons cannot submit on the same day?
Yes. Yeah, I believe, well, the state case is taken somewhere in 10th and 5th, so I think it's only fair that...
No, I don't mean the same day as in the 7th of October,
Yeah.
but the accused persons submitting on the same day.
Well, they are...
That can... So you better
can do
agree
that.
with Mr.
Yes.
Maduku
Yes.
on a date.
The 9th, yes, well.
9.
Yeah.
Although I don't intend to introduce, automatic bars and things like that, let us just try and stick to the dates that we have committed, so that we also have time to read your written submissions and participate meaningfully during the oral addresses. So very well. I intend to dispose of this by way of a court order that this matter will be postponed to the 13th of October 2025 for oral addresses. The state shall file written argument by the 7th of October this year, and the accused persons shall file written argument by the 9th of October this year. That is what we have agreed on. So accused persons, stand up. Come back to court on the 13th of October. Okay. Any other business?
No further business for the court, my lord.
The court will rise from this.